Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can add a button to your Squarespace website. If you haven't already got a copy of my Squarespace website checklist, you can grab a copy in the description box below. It's completely free to download and it goes through all the steps that you need to take before you launch your website. So I've just built out this section on my website and I want to add a call to action button just here underneath where I've put the heading and the paragraph text. You can see I've already got a button up here in my header, and I've got a separate video to show you how you can add a button to the header section of your Squarespace website. So I'll leave a link to that in the description box below if you want to learn how to put a header up here. But today we are going to add a button to a main section on the website. So to do that, first you need to click Edit and then hover over the section that you want to add the button to, and in the top left corner click Add Block and click Button. And our button will appear here right at the top, so you can just click and drag that down to place it where you want to place it. And that's great, our button's here and it looks nice, it looks cohesive with our section, but there are a couple of settings in the button that we need to do to ensure that it links to where we want it to go. And also we can change how it looks, so we can change the appearance of it. So let me talk you through what we can do. So firstly, let's just get it linked to the page that we want to take it to. And also it currently says learn more, but I want to change the text of that as well. So what we're going to do first is click on the button and click on the pencil icon and swap over to the content tab just here. And let's just change our text first. So we'll say get in touch. And I want that to link to my contact page. So I'm going to now click attach link and search for my contact page and click that, and then just click off the pop-up and you'll see that now it is linked to where we want it to go. So that's great. You can edit the link by clicking here. You can copy the link if you wanted to test it in a browser here, and also you can remove the link if you wanted to over here. So let's click out of that. That's good. So we've got our heading and now we've got our button. Now, what I don't like about this button is firstly that it's really, really long and the get in touch is kind of central to that. It doesn't look very aligned to the text that I've got above it. So I do want to change how this button looks. So we can do that by clicking on the button and clicking on the pencil icon. And this time we want to go over to the design tab. So the first thing is you can see that over here we've got fill selected and the other option is fit. Now a fill button will always take up the entire space of the blue container around it. So if I click off this pop-up and if I make this container bigger, you will see the whole button just grows along with that container. It's filling the container. And this is crazy big and it definitely does not fit with the design here. There might be some circumstances where this is appropriate, but this isn't what I want for my website currently. So I'm going to make that smaller again. And my preference is to actually use a fit button because you have a little bit more control over the spacing, over the padding, and over the alignment. So you can see I've clicked over to fit, and I now have options to align the button within that blue container. Currently it's aligned centrally, but I can align it to the right or I can align it to the left. And I'm going to align it to the right so that it lines up nicely with the text that I've got above it. So I'm happy with that. Let's just click out of it. Good. I think that looks a lot better and a lot more cohesive with the look that I'm going for. So the other design settings that I want to show you are we can change this button from a primary design to a secondary design or a tertiary design. So if we hover back over the button and click on it and click on the pencil icon, under the design tab, you'll see here we have a drop down. Currently we have a primary button selected, but if we click on the drop down, we could select a secondary button design. And you can see that that's changed the design of the button. It's now a transparent button with a pink outline and pink text. Or we can go in and change that to a tertiary button style, which is different again. So this time it's another transparent button, but this time it just has an underline. So again, depending on the look that you are going for, or depending on whether this was a high level call to action or a lower level call to action, you can change the design of the button accordingly. And if you don't like any of the designs that come up when you toggle between primary, secondary and tertiary, what you can do is click on the button and click on the pencil icon again and click on the drop down, and you have an option here that says edit button styles. So if we click on that, that takes us to the site styles menu, and we are in the buttons panel just over here. And you can see here we've got the option of primary, secondary or tertiary, and whichever one we wanted to change we could click into. So for example, if we didn't like the tertiary button here, we can click into tertiary button, and there's a lot that we can change just here about the look of it. So we can change the font, we can change the shape, all different shapes to choose from here. We can change the outline thickness. So if I bring that down, you'll see the underline gets thinner. And if I bring that up, you'll see the underline gets thicker. We can change the padding. So the top and bottom padding and the left and right padding. And if we wanted to change the look of the secondary button, we can toggle onto secondary here or to primary here. And we can change all these things about the buttons here. If we wanted to change the colour of the buttons, we'd do that in a slightly different area. So if we click back onto the button panel and back onto the site styles panel, to change the colour of the buttons, we would have to head into our colours panel and select the colour theme that we're currently working with. So this is dark 1. So we select dark 1 and just scroll down to where it says buttons, which is over here, and we can change the button background or the button text colour in this area. I do have another video that goes through setting your button styles in depth, so if you wanted to watch that, I'll link that in the description box below. And then the final thing I want to show you is we do just need to check what this looks like on mobile view, because we've added an element and it might have just ended up a little bit wonky on mobile view. So let's just check that first. So let's close this. And before we check that, I'm just going to change this back to a primary button because that's my preference. I like the way that that looks. And just here in the top right hand corner, I'm just going to toggle over to the mobile phone icon, and that will show me what my website looks like on mobile. And actually it's placed the button in a logical place. Sometimes, you know, it might end up here overlapping something else, and we would just want to ensure that that doesn't happen. This has added it in a logical place. The only thing I would change is I just want to give it a bit more breathing room, so I'm just going to scooch it down a little bit, and that looks better to me. So I'm going to click save, and that's how you add a button to your Squarespace website. If you found this video useful, please remember to give it a like and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any other Squarespace tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best with your website.